I want to give a huge shout out, give a lot of credit to El Vasco Aguirre because it kind of feels like this guy's watching the Asada videos. Like, we've been asking for so many changes throughout the tournament, and I'm not going to lie, he's kind of been giving us those changes. Like, that's what us fans want to see. All the players in the roster be given an opportunity no matter what age they are, because we're so used to the last 5 years with Tata Martino, Jimmy Lozano, all these other managers that are very stubborn with their tactics and player selection. It might not even be working, and they're just so stubborn that they just don't change it, or simply they just make the wrong changes, and us fans get very frustrated. This tournament, we've asked for 2 strikers up top. We've gotten that. We slowly started to notice it wasn't working. Okay, he went back to a 4-3-3, 1 striker only. We wanted Gilberto Mora to play. Not going to lie, I was getting a bit scared. Didn't think he was going to play. He starts him in the first game of the knockouts against Saudi Arabia, and he played very good. I believe he deserves to start in this game. I didn't think Julian Araujo was going to start. He started him for the first time in a knockout game. Mateo Chavez, Marcel Ruiz. These players that we don't rate, like Charlie and Orbelin, are slowly like kind of falling off the pecking order when it comes to starting. So Mexico hasn't really played it to the maximum potential we want them to. But as fans, I think we deserve to praise El Vasco for his player selections throughout the tournament so far.
I mean, I completely agree. Oh, I know a lot of Mexico fans, including myself, are very excited that we're seeing players like Gilberto Mora, Araujo, Marcel Ruiz in the starting lineup, and Mateo Chavez getting a chance as well. But it's because El Vasco. Like, El Vasco is the one putting him in there. He's actually has like the balls, bro, to do it. Like, he's willing to make a change. Like, again, I think I've said this in the past. I'm not saying his changes are the right decision or going to be perfect, but when he sees something wrong, he will attempt to change it. Whether that change is the right move is a different story, but at least he recognizes, okay, this is a problem. I need to try something else. And if that doesn't work, I'll try something else. Like you said, we have 2 amazing strikers. So we're like, okay, he gave us what we wanted. 2 striker formation. Charlie Rodriguez playing like shit, takes him out. Jorge Sanchez playing like absolute buns, throwing Araujo. It doesn't matter that it's a knockout game, bro. I'm going to throw in a 16-year-old, a right back that hasn't played for the national team in almost like a year. I feel like Araujo hasn't featured for Mexico. And both those moves paid off. Like, they did very, very well. I'm glad he's not loyal to like anybody, bro. I think that was one of the biggest problems with Jimmy Lozano. He was so loyal to like the team. I almost felt like they were more his friends. Now I feel like these players, on like a respect level, they kind of fear El Vasco. I don't think he has, even if he likes you, he doesn't have any ties to you. You could perform well for him in one tournament, you might not get called up the next tournament because like maybe your form dropped off. Like Israel Reyes is a perfect example. This guy started in the Nations League. We won the Nations League. We looked good. This guy has only played 1 game in the Gold Cup. So like I like that he's not tied to anyone. Like he's like, I'm gonna play the guys who are performing. I'm going to try new things. If you're not performing, you're getting out. Doesn't matter if you started the opening game of the tournament. Like, you need to keep performing to stay in the team. I think that's how it should be. That's how it always should have been. It should have never been about hierarchy. I don't like how Tuca Ferretti and all these guys on Futbol Picante, like, getting mad that, like, Gilberto Mora and all these other, Marcelo Ruiz are starting because of, like, they don't have enough hierarchy in the team. Like, what hierarchy, bro? Like, this is a national team. You're supposed to play the best players. Age doesn't matter when you're good enough. Like, I think it's absolute waffle that people think like we need to be loyal to players that have sucked and been a part of the worst generation that Mexico's had in 40 years. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm glad that Vasco sees through that and he's been playing pretty much doing what we want to see. And even though it's been ugly, like how you said, it's getting the job done, bro. We won the Nations League. We've never done that. We did it with him. And now we're in the semifinals of the Gold Cup, looking like favorites to win the whole thing. So it's not looking good, but it's working.
Yeah, by the way, you brought up like those analysts on like Tuca from ESPN and some 2N guys. Some of those guys have the most diabolical knowledge, and these are guys that have managed teams, ex-players, and some of the shit they say is absolutely diabolical. Like, I love Tuca, but the fact that him and this other guy were like criticizing Vasco for giving Gilberto Mora a chance, what the fuck are you guys saying, man? Like, there's no harm to him starting, especially since he's good enough to start. Let's be honest, the Gold Cup is a weak tournament. There's not a better tournament to give this guy minutes before a World Cup. Like, when are we ever going to find out if he's worthy to be a young starter in this team if he never is going to get to play? That was absolutely stupid. It kind of did piss me off. And these guys are always vouching for Luis Romo, Charlie Rodriguez, Antuna. Like, what the hell are you guys talking about? That's why you guys should listen to Futbol Asada more. But now let's get into the Saudi Arabia game. It was only 2-0, but I think in the first 10 minutes of the game, you can see the difference Gilberto Mora brings to his team. He just asks for the ball more. There's better strings of passing. Like, it's just more fluid. We did fall off a bit towards, like, the beginning of the second half, but gladly we got the job done. Vega finally scored. I predicted for him to score. He did, because it's about time he scores. And Toluca is scoring every weekend for Mexico. He doesn't even want to take an open shot, which is crazy to me. And then Santi Jimenez, another goal scorer. I thought would score. He was close, but it was an own goal across by Mateo Chavez. So I think overall I was pleased with the performance, but I think for next game against Honduras, we got to see more goals.
The game was kind of a hard watch, but I thought Mexico was pretty good. Like, I think Saudi Arabia is just, I don't know, they just have done this the whole tournament. They've just been defending for their lives. They only allowed 2 goals heading into that game, and then against us, allowed 2 goals. And it looked like a struggle, but like they never really threatened us. So I think that's a positive on our side. Like, we controlled the game. We didn't give up any good chances. I thought it was just a pretty just solid performance. Like, Saudi Arabia is a team that's going to be at the World Cup that is capable. You saw what they did in the last World Cup. They're not a horrible team. They're like a Panama-ish level team, maybe less than them. So, like, to win 2-0 against them is not the worst thing in the world. And to be in complete control is completely fine with me, especially when you're introducing new faces, like we already said, Mora, Araujo, and all them. So I would give the overall performance a B. But yeah, like, I don't think there's like much takeaways. I didn't really learn like all too much. I think one thing I did learn, which is a little bit of a negative, I think Piojo Alvarado is not getting enough slack. This guy has done absolutely nothing this entire tournament. I know you're one of his biggest glazers for some reason, but this guy has started every single game, 0 goals, 0 assists. Had his only good pass, I will give him credit, against Costa Rica, where Raul Jimenez should have scored. That was the only threatening thing he's done all tournament. Like, I don't know why this guy keeps starting. I would throw in Chino for the semifinal, but outside of that, I really didn't like. I didn't learn much. Like, the team just looked all right. Like, they looked solid. We got the W, but that was pretty much that.
Yeah, I think the right wing position right now might be one of the weakest ones we have. I think Piojo's been starting simply because of his profile. He's one of the few creative players we have, one of the few left-footed wingers we have. We do have Efra, which Efra hasn't been playing. Damn. I wouldn't mind Efra starting, but because they're very similar players. Chino Huerta is just simply better off the bench, even though I believe he should start next game. But yeah, Piojo, he's been getting way too much like priority to start when he's not producing much. So I would probably take him out for next game. Going back to the analysts again. God, these guys are pissing me off. If you guys were watching the game on TUDN, the commentator was absolutely pissing me off. I don't know his name, but I was so close to just tuning into Martinoli on YouTube. I swear to God, this guy was just like criticizing Marcel Ruiz the whole game, asking for Charlie. Like, when do commentators ever do that? But when we want Charlie to go after here not saying a single word, it's like they're getting praised to rate the worst players possible.
The whole first half, he's like, oh yeah, they got to bring in someone. They got to bring in Charlie for Mora, or Charlie for Marcel Ruiz. They got to bring in more experience because it's not working. It's like, bro, 30 minutes into Mora's debut, you're saying it's not working?
Fucking idiot,
Charlie
man.
Rodriguez with 60 caps and 0 impact? Like, that's who you want to bring in? Like, that's like, come on, bro. These guys they were also pissing me off the whole time. And I thought Marcel Ruiz, I thought he had a decent game. I think he should have scored the goal where he hit the post, but outside of that, I thought he had a very solid game. Gilberto Mora should have had a few assists. Had kind of like a hockey assist on the Vega goal. For someone, a professional, to be begging for Charlie Rodriguez, like, have some fucking shame.
Moron. Absolute moron.
Let's get into the final, because we're already fucking...
So, let's be honest.
Not the final, sorry, the semifinal.
The semifinal. Let's be honest, Honduras they're not good enough to beat Mexico. Their player quality isn't good enough. They're very lucky to be in the semifinals. No one thought they were going to be Panama. Shout out to them, though. They did get smacked 6-0 in the opening game of the Gold Cup against Canada. But history speaks for itself. Mexico always beats Honduras, especially when it's not in Honduras, the game. So I have full confidence Mexico will win this game 3-0.
If Mexico's not playing Honduras in Honduras, we win 99.9% of the time.
Except for the Aztecaso.
Yeah, like, outside of that, like, that might be the only time. Actually, no, they also beat us in the 2007 Gold Cup, but whatever. Point is, if this game was in Honduras, they'd have a chance. It's not, so they're not going to. They have no chance, bro. I'm not even trying to be cocky. Like, Honduras is just lucky to be here. Like you said, they played a top-level team in CONCACAF, got absolutely destroyed 6-0. Their only solid win, really, like, in regulation, was beating El Salvador. El Salvador was the worst team at the Gold Cup. Make no mistake about it. And they beat Curacao, decent win. It was the 90th minute. I'm not gonna lie, it was a very impressive win against Panama, but they did not look like the better team. Panama absolutely dominated them. Like it wasn't even close. Panama fumbled. It was more of a Panama fumble than Honduras winning. Like Panama should have been winning 3-4-0 at the end of regulation, and instead the game ended 1-1 because of a cheesy corner kick goal. So they were lucky just for it even to get to penalties. So if Mexico's clinical, I could see this being a 3-4-0 game. Like I know Honduras is going to park the bus, but Mexico should still be good enough to break them down. I mean, we saw Honduras try to park the bus against us in the Nations League in November when they had a 2-0 lead on us on aggregate, and we still scored 4 on them with Henry fucking Martin. Jorge Sanchez was scoring that game. Like like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we should win this game, no problem, bro. Like, Honduras doesn't really have pressure because they could be satisfied with a semifinal exit. Like, they were never expected to be here, especially after the first game. The only hope they have, bro, is the fact, and the only thing that gives me doubt that Mexico won't win is the fact that this game is at Levi's. Levi's Stadium, for some reason, for Mexico is so cursed. We played there 5 times, 1 win, 1 draw, 3 losses. Those losses include losing to Qatar in the last Gold Cup, Qatar's B team, losing 7-0 to Chile. So for some reason, this stadium is like an omen for us. But even then, I don't think Honduras that's going to be enough for Honduras to beat us. So I think we should win the game. I'm going to go with 4-0. You're saying 3-0. I'm going to go with 4. I think Santi will finally get on the board. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Gilberto Mora. Man, he might be the youngest ever goal scorer. I do expect another set piece goal, Montes, and maybe someone off the bench. But this should be a walk in the park, bro. Like, let's be honest.
Now let's get into what we want to see Mexico start or have in the lineup, because we've now seen almost everyone in the roster play, well, obviously except for the goalies, and I think Efra's gone in like 5 minutes, but we've seen everyone. So I think now I have a pretty good idea as to what I want to see. So I think in net, easily Malagon, I think he has like 9 clean sheets in the last 11 games for Mexico, which is impressive as hell, which is more so for the 2 center backs as well. So I think the defense, or the goalie and the 2 center backs, should be the same.
I think the fullbacks, Gallardo's out, so it has to be Mateo Chavez.
It has to be Chavez in the final too. There's no way Gallardo's going to come back to his team, because I know Mateo Chavez is going to have a spectacular game again.
Yeah, and then right back, I'm going to go with Julian Araujo. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Reyes either, but I think Araujo has to start. Anyone but Jorge Sanchez, really. And then I think we agree on that. I think the midfield trio, I think we also agree on. I would have basically the same trio as the last game, except Edson's in the CDM instead of Lira.
Yeah, I think Mora, he deserves to start this game. He does. And if for some reason Charlie starts over him, I'm asking questions. I'm asking Vasco if he needs a new pair of glasses or if we saw the same game, because Mora, I mean, the first goal, he had that little flick that Charlie in his life would ever attempt to do any of that. So the 16-year-old has to start again. The wingers.
I will say this, though. I was saying that Mexico should smack, but if El Vasco starts Orbelin and Charlie or something like that, we're not going to score until they're off the field. I'm not even exaggerating.
Yeah,
like,
always
they're
happens.
that bad. Like, they're that big of a difference. Like, if they start, we probably will not. It'll probably be 0-0 in the 60th minute until they're out of the game. That's why I think Marcel Ruiz and Mora have to start, especially against Honduras, who's going to park the bus, be frustrating. They're going to try to, like, it's going to be hard to break them down. You need creative players, so it has to be them too. And then wingers, I think we both still starting Vega. I mean, he scored. He's kind of been whatever in the tournament, but he scored, so it has to start.
Right wing, I'm going to start. I would want to see Efra. I doubt it's going to happen, though. So it'll probably be Chino, if there is one, to play over Piojo Alvarado, because Piojo Alvarado's been playing too many games and simply hasn't been producing enough. So maybe start Chino, see how he does there. And then on the left, Alexis Vega scored last game, and I think he'll score again, to be honest.
I would also start Chino for the same reason I just said about the midfielders. I think Chino's the only player, the only winger that like is willing to take on players one-on-one. That might be needed to break down Honduras, who, again, is going to play a low block. Like, we need someone that's going to create something out of nothing. And I don't know, like, Piojo, for me, has just been a back pass merchant the whole tournament. He's not as agile as Chino.
But don't get me wrong, though. Piojo's still a better footballer than Chino. Chino runs like a headless chicken, no disrespect.
Absolutely not.
Chino runs like a headless chicken.
That is not something I'm backing.
We all know this.
That is an Andre-specific take. That is an Andre-specific take. Do not associate me or Asada with that take.
Well, I know a lot of people would agree. Piojo is a better footballer.
Chivas fans, delusional ones.
He is a better footballer. When it comes to the sport of football and the technique on the ball, Piojo is better.
No.
Chino doesn't even know how to run correctly.
You sound like Roy Keane, bro, saying like, oh, Haaland technically is a League Two footballer. Like, okay, that doesn't mean anything. He's a Premier League best striker in the world. Like,
Those of you guys that grew up playing, you guys know. Real ballers know.
what,
Striker.
what do they know, bro? Nobody agrees with you that Pio is better than Chino.
One thing is being a better footballer and being a better footballer overall. I mean,
So this
a
better
better
footballer
professional.
has 0 goals, 0 assists in the tournament, by the way.
Yeah,
Anyways,
but he's
moving on
still
to
better.
strikers.
He's still better than Chino.
He's moving on to striker, bro. He's not a better player. There's a reason one is at Anderlecht, and there's another one that is playing for the worst Chivas in 10 years. So there's that.
You guys know. Real ones know.
And then that striker, I think we both agree on this, and it's very kind of controversial. But we're not. I would not start Raul Jimenez. I would start Santi. I think Raul has also kind of struggled in this tournament. Has only scored 1 goal, and that was against the Dominican Republic. Has not scored since. And I think Santi deserves a chance. Again, it's not a big drop off. Like Santi to Raul, Raul to Santi, almost the same level. And I think Santi just deserves a start. Like, and I don't think it's crazy because if Vasco's already pulled crazy things in the lineup already, I wouldn't think it's crazy that Santi starts, especially because Raul's getting older, bro. Like, if you really want him 100% for the final, then bring him off the bench this game, and he could maybe start the final. Or you never know, you know?
We say all the time at Fulham, Raul doesn't score for like 3 or 4 games. He gets taken out. Muniz starts over him. Muniz doesn't score for like 1 or 2 games. Raul comes back, and then he goes on his goal-scoring streak. So I think that's just something we need, something different. I mean, Santi's more than good enough to start by himself. And, if anything, if it doesn't work, then Raul off the bench. If for some reason we go to penalties, Raul is better, so it will work perfectly. Yeah, this lineup should put 3 past the minimum.
Minimum, bro. It'd be a complete failure if we don't.
Fuck, I'm just now realizing when we played Qatar, oh my God, when we played Qatar, last Gold Cup at Levi's Stadium, Julian Araujo, Santi, and Piojo started, and we lost.
That was because we're getting managed by Jimmy Frazzano, so he's not there anymore.
Oh, I just got a flashback. But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, what you guys think the score predictions will be. If there's any changes you guys would make to the lineup we just said, let us know. We read all the comments. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe for the best Mexican footy content on the planet. Hit the post notice to be informed when we upload the reaction to the semifinals. And click the links down below. Join us on all of our platforms. Talk to us on Discord. And we'll catch you guys next video.
Peace.